This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Profitability Movement. Go to profitability-movement.mn.co to join this community of business owners focused on building profit, increasing wealth, and giving back. Thank you for joining us. Here's how we will help your business and you today. Local marketing is critical for success. People want to feel comfortable doing business with someone who is close, someone they know, and someone they can trust. So how do you make local happen? My guest today, Scott Channell, wrote the book on local marketing. He will give us some of the steps to attract ideal clients and more profit. Scott, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Thank you for the invitation, Ruth. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I think I screwed up your last name. It's Scott Channell, isn't it?
It's Channell, actually.
Channell. All right, cool. So, Scott, all right. This book, you know that I read all the books, right?
Yes.
And it was a really cool book. So how did you start writing it? Why did you write it?
Well, I actually started out in local marketing years and years ago with a small agency, spending other people's money to place ads and send mail. And if you got a response, they let you keep spending their money. And, you learn quickly. And by accident, because I was good at copywriting, I had an opportunity to write some sales scripts for some call centers, and just happened to be really good at connecting larger companies with higher level targets or prospects. So I wrote 3 books on sales regarding appointment setting and selling the meeting. And in all that work, Ruth, what was really evident to me was how little connection there was often between good marketing and sales. And people were working very hard to make sales, but without really good marketing strategy or tactics. So they were very inefficient. And I wrote this book because as that gap got wider and wider, I started to think of just how much local companies, Ruth, it's a really bad time to be average at marketing.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you're any company, never mind a local company, my God, you got a small business, you got to run the business and all those details. In addition to that, you have to learn this marketing thing. That's why I wrote the book, because I thought there was misinformation and people needed some basic strategies to get them on track and stop self-sabotaging themselves, Ruth. And I think a lot of what's going on almost does amount to self-sabotage for small businesses. So that's how I wrote the book.
Yeah, there's so much in here. I mean, and you're very direct. I mean, if you don't do this, you're a knucklehead. Good. I love that. It's very direct.
And it starts it's interesting. I talk about in the book that, your books have been are so critical to small businesses, because I talk about if you don't have good financial intelligence, you're crippling yourself. And if before you start talking to strangers, if you don't have your own house in order, look at it's marketing 101. It's marketing 100.5, Ruth, that if you're not keeping your current clients, getting them to come back and generating referrals, that is by far the key to profitability for a business. And if you don't have those things in order, you have no business whatsoever spending money or time trying to market to strangers. And it's so critical to effective marketing that people do that first, because if they don't have those things in order, they're probably not going to be effective at marketing. And the odds of them making what I call good marketing bets are pretty low.
You bring up a really good point, because once you know who your customers are, you can probably figure out where to find people like them, right?
You just hit something. In the book, we talk about having confidence in your client's bullseye. And your client bullseye cannot be the size of a barn. Okay.
Oh, come on.
A bullseye. And one of the mistakes that local businesses make is they fail to commit, Ruth, in who they're seeking to attract and in crystal clear messaging. So I hear a lot of times from local businesses, oh, you know what? If you think of your clients as A clients, B clients that are better than average, C clients, and then D and E clients, many times local business will say, we've got a lot of smaller clients. We've got a lot of average clients, less than average clients. We really like them. We don't want to miss out on them. And what they're not understanding is that when they have their A client bullseye clearly defined in their messaging resonates with the A clients well, that they also become attractive to the B's and the C's and the D's. And when you try to be something to everyone, you're something to nobody. And they just water down their messaging and they end up working harder and harder for less.
The really cool part about that is we add one thing to that. We know who our A clients are and how much revenue and profit they give us. We know who our B clients are and how much revenue and profit we get. And then I bet by the time they get to their C's and their D's, they may get revenue, but they won't get profit.
You're exactly correct. And in the book, there's a whole chapter about, well, how do you define what's an A, what's a B, what's a C, and what do you try to do with them? If you've got someone who's a B, what do? Well, you try to upgrade them to an A. And if you've got a C, you try not to let them slip down into D level, and you get the proper mix in order to have a very profitable business.
I'd stick with the A's, never mind the E's.
Absolutely. And you know what's that's, I don't want to say sad, but I think for a lot of people that there's more A's in really good clients out there than they could handle. And in a big part of being successful in the local level is about focus, not only about focusing on your client bullseye. You have to be where those A clients are, Ruth. And if you don't know where to find those A clients so that you can be visible to them at every stage of their buying journey, then what you're really doing is you're just spreading your messaging and your marketing money all over the lot. And it's like marketing roulette. You're placing bets at the roulette table, and most of the time you're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't believe in betting that way. And I don't think you do either.
Absolutely not. And a lot of it, there's a challenge for local marketers because, first of all, you can't predict human behavior. So you don't know for sure when you put an ad in or you select a tactic, you select the right strategy. If we could predict human behavior, we wouldn't be doing what we were doing.
Boy, that's for sure.
but there's history, there's research, there's facts. And the more you know about what is good, solid marketing, then the better decisions you're going to make. And Ruth, one thing I see again and again and again, and I go, oh my God, is with people who might be doing all the right things, but may not be able to make a judgment as to whether, well, wait a minute, if I just tweak it up, this could be a great strategy for me. And I see a lot of local businesses actually doing the right thing, but maybe because of poor execution, they don't get the most from it, or they just don't stick with it long enough, Ruth. So something that really could be great in reaching their ideal clients and communicating a difference of a message of competitive difference doesn't happen. So they lose out. They're spending the money, they're making all the effort, but because of poor execution or just not hanging in there long enough to give it a chance to work, they lose great clients that they otherwise could have had.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. When we get back from the break, Scott and I are going to talk about the 7 steps for your local marketing strategy. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. We will be right back. You can't. That's what my daughter Kate told me when I said I wanted to make financials fun. The gauntlet was laid down. The red blanket was waved in front of the bowl. Ronin the rubber duck was born. This ebook is a whimsical look at financials from a duck's perspective. To get this fun, easy-to-read Kindle book, go to Amazon and search for Ronin the Rubber Duck Dives into Financials. That's R-O-N-A-N. The Rubber Duck Dives into Financials. Let me know if I made financials fun for you. We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm talking with Scott Channell, and we are talking about his new book, My Area Marketing, Local Business Growth and Advertising Strategy. And you called it Volume 1. So do you have Volume 2 in the works?
Yes, we do. And the title refers to Local Business Growth and Advertising Strategy, which was purposely done because one of the things local businesses do, Ruth, is they just react. I'll try this, I'll try that. Maybe this will work, maybe that will work. And they've got to stop random acts of marketing. And the way they do that is they have to have an overall plan or an effective strategy. So as they go along, the tools and tactics may change, but their strategy to gain ground on their competitors, that really shouldn't change too much. So this book is about the big picture. How do you determine the right strategy so that when you go to choose tactics and implement them, you're not just rolling the dice. In essence, a good strategy is going to enable you to make better marketing bets.
Absolutely. Okay, where do we get the book?
You get the book on Amazon all day long, 24/7.
Very good. All right. So I promised everybody we would start talking through the 7 steps to a local marketing strategy. And I'm going to skip step number 1 if I can, because it's getting your financial systems in order. And I mean, I think we've talked through that, not you and I specifically, but on Contractor Sense podcast, we talk about getting your financials correct all of the time. So, as you say, it's, it's less about being less stupid than your competitors. I love it.
No, don't be smarter. Try to be less stupid. Many times that's enough. All right.
But yeah, basically what we want to do here is make sure you understand what an A person is, what a B person is, what a C person is, or C customer is, and making sure you understand what the costs are and of providing products and services to those different groups, correct?
Yeah, and in the second step, and you covered the first one, and we talked about it early, but the second step, before people start thinking about exactly what they're going to do, is they have to get a grasp on where they rank relative to their competition. And they have to have a good sense of that, because let's face it, if you're way behind the pack, if you're a new business or you're not as well known, then you have to be very realistic about where you rank relative to your competitors so that you can choose to do the right things that will make you competitive for future ideal clients. So being very realistic about where you rank is the second step.
When I read this, it reminded me of the Hertz and Avis commercials where Avis says, we're number 2, but, we try harder.
Try harder. Yeah.
And so they admitted they weren't Hertz.
Exactly. In that type of a message, if you're farther down in the pack, that type of a message could very well be a winner if properly executed. Or if, one of the things that people, I think, know is that the needs of buyers are changing today. Between COVID and what's happening with the economy, people are reassessing what they want in any purchase. And they are seeking out new choices for providers in order to meet their new needs based upon this great transition that we're going through. So a message like that, we try harder, or knowing what the needs are of your ideal clients and making them, providing them the information they need to move step by step towards you is really what you should be thinking of. I think of the buyer's journey. Local businesses often tend to think, Ruth, about what they do, but what you really should be thinking about is the buyer's journey. And how can you be visible to the buyer at every stage of their path, from first inkling of, hey, maybe I ought to fix that roof, to actually choosing who's actually going to do the job. So know where you rank. And then step 3 is know exactly what it is you seek to achieve. So, you talk in your book about, hey, if you don't have goals, you're never going to know if you're going to reach them or not. It's the same thing with marketing. There's got to be some specifics in terms whether it's revenue, margin, number of clients, how many clients you get on the left side of the street, something in order to, make the right decision. So you have to decide exactly what it is you seek to achieve.
I want purple houses.
Exactly. How many clients who live in purple houses or blue businesses are going to do
whatever? You've made your point. Yeah, you've absolutely made your point there. All right. So you got to know what you need. I mean, what wasn't it the Mad Hatter said when Alice said, which way should I go? And he said, it doesn't, well, what do you want to do? And she said, I don't know. He says, and it doesn't matter which way you go. It doesn't
matter at all.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know I botched that, but I mean, yeah,
it's a good point. Now, the fourth point, we were talking about thinking of clients in terms of gradations. Your ideal client, perfect prospects that are going to become ideal clients. Those are your A's. Better than average are your B's. Your averages are your C. And it's very important to define those gradations, because you need to find the clients where they are. And if you don't know who you're looking for, you're not going to know where to find them. And you also have to decide what you need to do relative to the competition in order to move forward to attract the clients. And the other thing I think is really important to understand is that if you're not good at marketing, then competitors who may not be as good as you, but they're better at marketing, they're going to poach your ideal clients.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
One of the points I really make is, people talk about I spent $1,000 and didn't work. And one of the points I make is, forget the $1,000 or the $3,000. Think about the clients you lost that were winnable if you had done the right thing in terms of marketing. Now you don't get the client, you don't get the revenue, you don't get the margin, but you also don't get the repeat purchases and the referrals, which is really where you make your money.
Yep.
And that's what you should be crying about. That's a bigger loss to a business than it is on the money invested on a marketing tactic that did not work. Cry about the lost clients that you could have had if you had made better marketing bets.
All right. We're going to leave everybody in suspense for the last 3. Go buy the book.
Please. Thank you.
No, seriously. It's very well written. It's very down to earth. And it's something that you can use in a step-by-step thing to help you build your business local. So Scott, we can get it on Amazon, right?
Get the book on Amazon. Check out my website, findingbusiness.com. Love to hear from you, and hope the book helps. And Ruth, thank you very much for inviting me today.
All right. That was Scott Channell, and findingbusiness.com is his website. So for whatever reason, if you can't find the book on Amazon, you can contact him at his website. So thank you all for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.